Basically, the judge is saying that Mr. Cohen is going to plead guilty on count 7, which accuses Mr. Cohen of willfully causing an unlawful corporate contribution. That's according to the judge. Count 8 accuses Cohen of making an excessive campaign contribution. Mr. Cohen's plea bargain includes possible prison sentences of up to 5 years and 3 months, according to the judge. And the big headline, as you guys have been talking about, Mr. Cohen says, at the direction of, quote, candidate for federal office, end quote, he arranged to make payments, quote, for principal purpose of influencing the election. That is the bombshell headline. Michael Cohen making this plea deal this afternoon in federal court. Now, the interesting thing is going to be whether or not he continues to cooperate with authorities. There have been conflicting reports from major news organizations as to whether or not this plea deal requires him to continue to cooperate with prosecutors. That remains to be clarified. NBC News has not confirmed that. But once again, that bombshell headline is that Mr. Cohen says at the direction of the candidate for federal office, that would be now President Trump, he arranged to make payments, quote, for the principal purpose of influencing the election. More news is coming out of this hearing. It's not over yet. We'll bring it to you. Back to you guys.
Okay. Do we have Robert Mintz with us still? I know I've asked that a couple of times.
Yes.
Former assistant U.S. attorney. Give me your reaction now to Cohen, if you can. I know we brought you on originally, of course, to give us insight into the Manafort verdict. But, you know, as a former assistant U.S. attorney, I'm sure you have some perspective here to offer in terms of what this means yet again. This is, by the way, of course, we should say the Southern District of New York, not related to the Mueller probe or not the Mueller investigation itself, but does this give them something to work with?
Sure. Yeah, this plea could actually be even more consequential than the Manafort conviction, because if the references in the charges here are referring to the president, then they would seem to be really right at the doorstep of the White House, and is something that is going to be that the president's lawyers are going to have to deal with immediately. It absolutely poses a graver threat to this president than the Manafort convictions, and it's really now the big unanswered question is whether or not Michael Cohen has agreed to cooperate with prosecutors. Presumably, if that were the case, prosecutors would not agree to that type of deal unless they had already convinced themselves that he has useful information that he has not already made public, and that would be something that would give the president's lawyers even more concern.